the should? Point in the finger. Is that a finger? That's not a finger. Isn't that a rose or something? I don't know. That's all our perception, right? Is that a finger?
That's a finger.
Good thing I went to Costco. Not funny. Okay, so as always, I would try to find something a little humorous to start out with. And where is the easy solution? Okay, I thought this was kind of cute. This is nutritional humor. Easy solution. Ken sought medical aid because he had bulging eyes and a persistent ringing in his ears. A doctor looked him over and suggested removing his tonsils. The tonsillectomy resulted in no improvement. He then consulted a dentist who suggested that removing his teeth might eliminate the problem. All of Joe's teeth were extracted, but still his eyes bulged out and the annoying ringing in his ears continued. A third doctor told him bluntly, "You have 6 months to live." Feeling doomed and gloomy, Ken decided to treat himself right while he still had time. So he bought a flashy car, hired a chauffeur and a gardener, and was measured by a tailor for some new suits. To go along with the new suits, he decided that even the shirts would be made to order. "Okay," said the shirt maker, "let's get your measurements." 34 sleeve, 16 collar. "No, I wear a 15 collar, Ken corrected him. 16 collar, the shirt maker repeated, measuring again. "But I've always worn a 15 collar, said Ken. "Listen," said the shirt maker, "I'm telling you right now, if you keep on wearing a tight 15 collar, your eyes will bulge out and you'll have ringing in the ears." Anyway, I thought about the talk title because we all do this, right? Do we all should on others? No, we never do that. Oh, really? How about we do it to ourselves? And so what really is shoulding? It's like saying, they should do that, they should act like that, she should be this way, they shouldn't do this, blah, 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 blah. And when we do that, what we're doing is creating that negative energy to come back on us. So I thought, I'm going to find a blog on this from a therapist. And really what it is, it's judgment, it's projection, and blame. Okay, so she said this so well, and I think this is the one I liked the best. Yes, it's the short one. So let me just read this because it's kind of like what Reverend Karen Wiley wrote that book. We're going to get her here and she'll do a book signing on that book because that's amazing. I mean, her writing is fantastic. Anyway, this one, all humans do both. We blame, judge, shame, and project our judgments out. It's just what people do, and it's because it's what people do I am prompted to seek the function or role of these often seen as negative. Acts for now, as they may actually serve for us. I've come to see that both judgment and projection play vital roles in the consciousness process. How do you think of that, right? Either serving to perpetrate victim consciousness or to evolve past, out, limiting judgments into greater awareness and consciousness. Here's how negative judgment and projection work together. And that's what being shoulding is when you're doing that. It's actually judgment and projection. As soon as we see something about ourselves that we disapprove of or find unacceptable, we tend to criticize and judge ourselves harshly. Anybody hard on themselves in here? Yeah, right? That's what we're doing. I love me, all right? So we can let go of that. We tell ourselves we shouldn't be that way, that it indicates that we're not doing the process right, or we're not evolved enough, that there's something wrong with us, that we are dumb, and so on and so on. You know, it's interesting, when we were learning the practice with Sadhguru, he said, you know, the Americans are the worst at learning things because they want to make it perfect. And he said, if you just do the practice, if you do it with the mind frame that it's going to be great no matter what, it's going to work out perfectly and it'll be beautiful anyway. So he said, let go of judging yourself. So such self-critique and condemnation is very painful, so we find ourselves avoiding those harsh self-criticisms. It's sort of like we go unconscious around the thing we judged as unacceptable about us, and then we push it down. Okay, so I just want to share something. So I've been going to Dr. Joe, and he's the chiropractor here that's renting the space, and I had no idea that I was still harboring all this resentment and anger. So as he's gonna be here after the service too and talk about what the process is and what it does. But I just wanted to share what it does for me. So, you know, being assigned to my minister, and I've got to be nice and kind and all that. So I had all this rage buried down inside of me. And I had no idea. So he works on me, beep, beep, works on the neck, and I'm like, oh yeah, right. And so as I'm driving home, I had road rage. And I haven't had road rage for 30 or 40 years. And I'm so mad at everybody, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is horrible. And it felt just like it did when I was probably in my 30s, and I was a nightmare in my 30s. I'd slam the doors and I had a lot of rage. I had no idea that it was so buried deep down, and it's starting to come up, and it's releasing. And when you allow those emotions to come up, what happens is it frees you. So it's uncomfortable in the moment to feel it. And I was really bad. I was so bad that I was driving behind somebody, they were tailgating me, and then I'm just gonna tailgate them. And I'm doing that, and flashing my lights, and I'm like, oh my God, you're a horrible person. And then I thought, no, just get it out. You're not hurting anybody, you know, as long as you don't take a gun. Anyway, but, it was that intense, and I had no idea. But I grew up with a rager dad. So when you understand that about yourself, you can have compassion for yourself too. So I'm just sharing that story because it's okay to have those feelings. In Science of Mind, we talk about how we have to be love and compassion. You know what? You've got to allow the other things to come up and out. Anybody bury stuff down and you're out trying to be nice and kind? Oh yeah, don't do that, all right? Because what's going to happen? Oh, she's looking at Denise? Oh, okay. Anyway, point to yourselves, people. All right. But anyway, but of course, okay, so then I'm going to go on reading this. But of course, the painful judgments don't just go away because we don't like them. If anything, the resentment we feel toward ourselves festers and gets bigger the more we judge our own shortcomings. Sooner or later, we need to escape from our own self-judgments. The pain of self-criticism drives us inevitably to denial, which does not resolve our self-criticisms or lead to a place of healing through self-acceptance, but leads automatically to the act of projecting our self-negating judgments onto some other lucky recipient. Yeah. Anybody have any mirrors in front of them? I know, I've got some, and then I gotta look at it. We then start resisting them, trying to shame, control, this is why I had to read the Karen thing, control or eliminate them altogether from our lives, as if by getting rid of them we can rid ourselves of similar, unacceptable qualities that we've denied. Ringing true? Sometimes we take them on as a project, these are people, and even try to fix them. For the very thing we have not been accepting in ourselves, for that which we are holding against ourselves. And this is what they call the shadow. And the shadow is when we bury something so deep down. I can't remember, Debbie, the one that just made a transition. Debbie Ford had a great image. So we've got a negative feeling, and maybe we're experiencing guilt, or we're experiencing something with, we've lost a partner and we have grief and we bury it down. And what happens is, it's kind of like, you know how you go into a pool and you put a beach ball in a pool, how hard is it to push that beach ball down? It's going to come up eventually, and it may show up as the road rage. It may show up as being unkind to somebody else in your life. It may show up as sickness. Because what happens is that does fester, and energetically it festers in our body. So I want to just finish this reading. There's another option rather than the cycles that we have just described. Self-condemnation leads to judgment, leads to projection, leads to blaming others. Persecution leads to their retaliation, leads to reinforcement of our belief, which proves us right. I love it. Rather than condemning ourselves and blaming others, we can come to recognize when we are blaming others and follow it back to our judgment or inner condemnation of ourselves and intervene there. Instead of insisting on blaming someone outside of us for that which we have not made peace within us, we use judgment, projection, and blame as tools to clear our own blossoming and peace-seeking consciousness. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, I really love that. So as I was doing that, I also realized, that we have an option. So we teach, that we have cause and effect in science of mind. We teach that as we put energy out, it comes back to us. So if we have things in our unconscious or subconscious levels, and we haven't revealed it, then it's going to come back to us in a myriad of ways, and it's so exciting. But as we clear and as we become more real about our lives and we become more awake and aware, and we don't bury it down. So somebody will say, oh, I have no problems, I know all this stuff, and I'm like, really? So you're enlightened and you're awake? If you are, you probably aren't on the planet anymore. And you're probably dead. Because we need to know that whatever it is, we're on this journey to learn. We're on this journey to reveal everything about ourselves. And it really is that truth. And so as we seek to understand ourselves, we seek to really love ourselves and to embrace ourselves in a very compassionate way. So when we do this and when we're allowing ourselves to be awake and aware in the moment, and what does that look like? So we, instead of judging others, and catch yourself, there's the practice. You want to practice? So look at it, you're on the beach and you're going, oh, that person's really fat, or oh, that person dresses horribly, or whatever it is you're going to say about them, or they eat bad food. And it's like, okay, let that go and allow yourself to have compassion and quit shooting on other people. Allow yourself to be more kind, to be more compassionate, because it's really your own stuff, isn't it? So if you think about it, and we think about how we project, and we project, allow yourself to get present to what you're thinking. This is what we call mindfulness. I found another little statement from Thich Nhat Hanh. He said that, when our negative judgment of ourselves are unconscious, they are to our detriment. And when we know that, you can learn how to have breathing room in your life, because what it creates is congestion, and it creates that you have negative things and energy coming towards you. So one of the statements was from a Buddhist. Many people judge when they feel judged by others or even by themselves. It's a form of self-defense. And here's what our beloved Freud wrote, that one means of defending our fragile egos is to project the attitudes, thoughts, desires, and behaviors that we do not like, about ourselves onto others, whom we judge. And he called projection a defense mechanism. Have you ever thought about it like that? I hadn't until I read this. And then the Buddhism view, in a Buddhist lecture, and this is a Tibetan monk, he said, everyone that I meet is a mirror of me. If I don't like what I see in the mirror, then I need to change. Isn't that great? He was saying that we must see own or acknowledge the flaws that we attribute to others. In a similar vein, Thich Nhat Hanh, we all know Thich Nhat Hanh, little cutie pie, suggested that each time we can catch ourselves judging someone else, we say, and I am that too. Can you say that? And I am that too. So as you're doing that practice, and this is a deep practice, this isn't just like, oh, we're just gonna, every day I'm just going to, go about my business. Really look at what we're thinking. Because the more we are able to let go of any of that negativity, we're able to let go of that judgment, projecting, whatever it is, we get free and we create that energy to come back to us. So signs of negative judgment of others are hurting what you might include, and this is what happens to us. A depressed mood, isolation, distrust of others, and paranoia. Isn't that wild? A good exercise is to write down negative, judgmental thoughts for 2 or 3 days. So you want to journal on that. But what you really have to do is do it in the moment. Because as we do it in the moment, then we're able to let go of it in the moment. And if you don't know you're doing it, have a partner tell you when you're doing it. You're going to see it. And you will not even realize what a bad habit it is, because it's a bad habit. And a lot of us have this, particularly in our country. What should give you some clues about what is going on in your own life is looking at that. And if your whole life seems nothing more than a string of negative judgments, you can change that and become happier. Are you ready to do that? Yeah. Would you like to become happier and take the should out of your life? Yeah, we absolutely do. So as we do that, we also want to be able to go into gratitude. And gratitude is a way for us to bring that positive energy into our lives. And it's a way for us to expand what we desire. And that's really what it's all about. I remember when I was going through my divorce, and this is so perfect because I was projecting onto my ex-husband. Anybody have any exes? Okay. But, when we do that, what we're doing is we're not healing from the relationship. We're not healing. And it's not even from an ex. It's from a friend. It's mom and dad. It's everybody. And as we do that, we allow ourselves to take back our power. So one of the things Carolyn Mace talks about is that as we allow ourselves to get present, and as we allow ourselves to be aware of those negative thoughts. And this was exactly what she was talking about being a victim. We take away being a victim when we own our own power and we take back that power. So let me tell you a little exercise that you could do. And this actually comes from a couple of shamanic healers do this. And this is also from Louise Hay, and it's also from Carolyn Mace. So let's say you have somebody who has done you wrong. Anybody have somebody who's done you wrong? Yeah? Okay. I know, right, Roxy? Yes! Anyway. But as we feel that person, and pick somebody in your life, is there anybody who's just like free? And they have nobody that's done them wrong, and you have nobody that you have any issues with? Anybody? I know, nobody's raising their hand. Isn't that interesting? Anyway, what I do, and this is a technique which is really a great way to let go, you sit in the chair, you visualize that person, and I want you to feel, in fact, why don't you do it right now, and feel yourself, find that person. Maybe it's your mom, maybe it's your dad, they don't have to be alive. And feel them, and wherever it is, it could be in your heart chakra, it could be in your stomach, it could be in your throat. Feel for a moment. Now I want you to feel that person connected to you and see how they're connected. And as you're doing that, see if there's strings or ropes or wires. You feel that? You see those wires, so energetic wires, ropes, strings, lines. Feeling that? Okay? Now visualize that as you have, and for me I had a huge plug in my heart. This was from my ex-husband. So I unplugged it. I took the plug out of my heart and I unplugged it. So in this moment, I'm going to have you cut the wires, cut the rope, cut the string, unplug from that judgment, unplug from that individual. Because if you want to truly be free and have peace, then you unplug from that individual. Feel the energy of unplugging. Are you willing to unplug? Or do you like being a victim? Be with that too. Because if you like it, it's hard to let go and to release that old energy and that old way of being because we're so used to it. Okay, is everybody doing it? Everybody got one? Did you unplug yet? Did you cut it? Did you let go? Let it go. Let it go. With love and light and peace, let it go. And as you do, claim your power and bring that power back to you. Put your hands on your heart and just say, I claim my power back. I no longer give it to you. I claim my power back. I no longer give it to you. And as you do that, you will feel an energetic rush. Now in that space, if you had a huge plug like I did, let's fill it with light, golden light of love and peace. Fill up those spaces, because otherwise you're going to plug into something negative. And as you do that, hold that for yourself and feel it. Feel good? Keep letting the love in. Let it in. Feels good, huh? And when you're ready, come back. How's your bodies feel? Better? Free? And you may have to do this several times, okay? Because the person that's getting hurt is not them. The person that hurt you, that's not the person that's hurting you. You're the one that's hurting you. So if someone did something to you, let it go and unplug and allow yourselves to feel and embrace the love that you deserve. There's a reading I found. I was going through my files with all of my beautiful things, and I wanted to read this as a closing. Oh, but wait, I want to read this first, because this is from a quote that I found from T.S. Eliot. What is this self inside us, this silent observer, severe and speechless critic who can terrorize us and urge us on to futile activity, and at the end judge us still more severely for the errors into which his own reproaches drove us? And then this is from Nathaniel Brandon. Self-acceptance is my refusal to be in an adversarial relationship to myself. Isn't that great? Because we're the ones that are causing all our pain. We have choice. Thank God we have choice. Thank God we do have free will. Okay, so I'm going to close with this. It's a beautiful, it's a poem from Carrie Hart, The Longing for Union. There is a hunger, a longing deep within your heart, and it has been there from the moment you were born. It is not this foolish longing for romance or money. It is not this hunger for success and recognition. It is not even a desire to be surrounded by beauty. The hunger that presses upon you so acutely is simply the longing for you to reach again the state of complete oneness, to access your own soul right here within you. It has not left you, of course. It has not ventured away and gotten lost in the forest of your life. It has merely been a bit covered over, like an old garden wall that gets covered in moss and brambles over time. But yet this wall of a body still holds within it the glorious garden of the soul. It still harbors that great and glorious blossoming that is you. I always think about Reverend Nirvana. I give grand and glorious thanks. You who are individual, unique, and at the very same time, one with all that is. You who are this glorious body, vitally alive in this lifetime, and at the same very time, the soul that is ethereal and immortal, ever present. And so the longing then is for union. Union for all the different parts that are you, the part of you that is this body, and the part of you that is the soul. The part of you that is unique, and the part of you that is exactly one with all that is. The part of you that is God. First go within and find the union, find the peace that is within you. Here is a prayer for you today. I am all that I need to be. I am enough for peace, for joy, for love, for happiness unbounded. It is all within me. And I am just as I am, deserve all of this bounty. So repeat these after me. These are great affirmations at the end. I am the wonderful, glowing expression of life and spirit. I am the wonderful, glowing expression of life and spirit. I am the balance where it all meets. I am the balance where it all meets. I am the gladness and the joy of all creation made manifest. I am the gladness and the joy of all creation made manifest. I am the flowering and the opening. I am the flowering and the opening. I am that I am. I am that I am. So, beloved ones, we just did a process that was powerful. Thank you for doing that with us. And have a beautiful, gorgeous day. Be awake and aware. And when you judge, when you should, when you notice that, that's really your soul trying to get you to lift up to a higher level of awakening and a higher level of consciousness. How many want that? Yeah? We want to wake up and we want to be happier. So as we do this and as we do these practices and we become, and it's painful. It's not fun to go, wait a minute, me again? But every time we do that, it is, oh my gosh, it's me again. So it's like, you point fingers at somebody, turn that finger around, it's right here. Point it at yourself. And then inquire, do a deep inquiry about what is going on with me. And I'm just going to share that. I've been here, 6 or 7 years now, and in the beginning, I was a complete victim because of what happened. I came in and I was the new CEO, new minister, new leader, whatever. It doesn't matter. People are going to project their stuff onto me from their grief and their sadness. But then I had a bunch of old stuff in me that I hadn't healed. So I've got to say, there is not the pain. When people project on me now, I'm like, and so it is. It's cool. But at that time, and I'd go home and I'd cry, moan, and gnash my teeth. It was really painful. And I thought, thank you, God, for putting me in this position. Because it really is an opportunity to grow and shift and to become more of the love and who you are, really. And then when people connect with you and they say, and they're going to just be who they are, God bless them, then you could just go, whoop. I remember Jim, not Duell, well, probably Jim Duell, but Jim Drever too. And he said, Rev Maryum, at one point, it's going to get so much better and it won't bother you anymore. I go, that's impossible. And that was actually about 4 years ago, I think. I'm like, that's impossible. And then as I did the work, and as I'm doing my practice, and as I'm doing that self-inquiry, it does dissipate, it does release. So when you have a nasty client, or you've got a mean person in your life, you're able to shift, and you're able to be in that peace. And I can't tell you how joyful that is. So feel the pain, allow it to come up, do the work, and I guarantee you, it will go like this over your head, and you'll be like, and so it is. And that's my line now. Whenever somebody does that, and so it is. Thank you for sharing. And I don't say that to them, because that's mean. I'm shitting on them. But it allows you to have that freedom. So you ready for the freedom?
Yes.
Yeah!
Yes.
All right. So let's just say, and I'm going to close with this, I am free.
I am free.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody.